Well, for decades, Sweden was the global left's gold standard. High taxes, cradle-to-grave social services, the whole 9 yards. But they might need to update their progressive talking points because guess what? Sweden has privatized their economy. All right, sit down. Business is booming. It has slashed taxes for 3 straight years, almost 50% for top earnings. And social spending has plummeted to a quarter of the country's GDP. That's more on par with the U.S. than it is France or Italy. The result, Sweden has turned into a mean, lean growth machine, outgrowing the rest of the European Union in 2026 and will for years to come. Brian, I'm going to come to you first on this because I understand by way of your neighbors, you know something about Swedish culture.
Well, there's a lot of Swedish culture in Minnesota, which is great. So despite the fraud, there is a nice culture there. I love the story about freedom, Sweden. I said freedom, but they're kind of becoming the same thing. Here's what I'd say. The world is full of examples in economics of what to do and not to do. And they're not even hard to discern. It's very easy. Just look throughout time and around the globe and you can see what works and doesn't. Sweden is a great example of something that worked after World War II, and then they went all lefty and it stopped working. And they realized it wasn't working, and they've now come back. And Bernie Sanders decided to insert himself and say the best Sweden out there was the one that was not working. And now he should be aware. I think somebody's got to let him know that, in fact, Sweden has abandoned Bernie Sanders, and it's gone the way of capitalism.
You know what else they've abandoned? They were one of the most pro-immigrant open border countries, and they've totally reversed. They have some of the most restrictive immigration policies. Listen to this. Asylum immigration at the lowest since 1985. Requirement for naturalization increased from 5 to 8 years. Applicants must pass mandatory Swedish language proficiency and a civics knowledge test. Applicants must demonstrate the ability to support themselves financially. And also there's new salary thresholds for a requirement for a workforce. A work permit has to be 80% of the median Swedish salary to curb low-skilled immigration. So they're bringing everyone up by just tightening up, just making sure we're not doing an open border policy, that we're just sort of understanding that when you come, you want to come for the right reasons and you want to assimilate and do all the things.
Well, Taylor, I mean, that was a disaster for all of Europe when those borders were wide open, for sure. Larry, I've got to challenge you with this.
Still are.
Some places.
I mean, Sweden's doing good work.
So listen to this. Elizabeth Svantesson, the country's finance minister, says Sweden is a real land of opportunity. I want people and capital to stay here and grow. The billionaire founder of EQT says it's more attractive here than it is in the U.S. You think that's possible?
I don't think they're there yet, but they've done a lot of really good things. I mean, just from the notes here, I mean, if their social spending, it looks like their budget's basically gone 24% of GDP, almost the same as ours. Right. We're 23.5%.
But Larry cut taxes on the wealthy by 50%. Now that is out of the Kudlow playbook.
I mean, this is right here. From 90%, they're down, the income tax down to 50. 50 is a very high tax, but coming from 90, you're quite right. Their corporate tax, which is so important and so underrated, the same as ours. It's at 20.6, so call it 21. We're at 21. Corporate taxes, I think, probably more important than personal income taxes. The other thing is they're a little high in cap gains, but not bad. 30% cap gains there. All right, long-term cap gains were at 20, but they're down from God knows how much. They have a high VAT. I mean, 2% growth. They can. With these, if she keeps moving it in this direction, why can't they get 3 or 4% growth? France and these other. I mean, actually, you know what? England today is Sweden of yesteryear.
That's right.
This guy Starmer is the Olaf Palme of his time without the brains. Palme was a very smart left-wing socialist, communist, whatever he was. He was a nut job. But this
So is this just like a cycle that countries go through, then they wake up and realize it's not working and they've got to kind of shift gears?
This guy, can I just make one more point? He's sitting on among the richest oil, gas reserves in the world, in the North Sea. And he's running them windmills. He's running those windmills.
Well, Norway's opening up their gas fields again.
Of course.
They want to get in on it.
England is like at the bottom of the class now.
They're
the dumbest student in the room, possibly the entire school. I mean, Sweden's putting them to shame.
Well, we did a study. The UK is poorer than even our poorest state
No doubt.
by median income.
They're certainly stupider. So I don't.
Half of the
Poverty.
healthcare clinics are privately owned. Social spending fell to 24% of GDP. Jackie, what do you say?
I'm just wondering, I mean, I go back to this question that I asked you, I'll try to answer it myself, which is people go through a cycle of stupidity. They realize that it's not working. They realize for power reasons too, and power dynamics, that if you want to kind of hold on to what you've got to have a strong economy. And then there's one formula to do it. I mean, Brian said this before, I think it was maybe in context of the fraud and whatnot, but the playbooks are out there. Like what to do and what not to do are out there. It just depends how ideologically motivated you are. And if you're not necessarily, and you want to kind of keep your power and have a thriving country, the playbook is right there. It's right there for the taking.
You know who
so
else
they're doing it.
You know who else did it? Netherlands.
Yeah.
Netherlands did it. You know who else did it? Poland. It can
Poland,
be done.
time, yeah.
Those are great countries. Yeah, no, they can be done. You know who
US
else?
led
you know
the
who
way,
never
my
does it?
friend.
Yeah, that's correct.
Who never does it?
France.
Yes.
Never.
Oh, never.
Now
Forget it.
Germany, right? They're burning wood in Germany. I mean, because no.
And not for fun.
No. These cycles are too long, to Jackie's point.